Hello, my homeschool friends. My name is Keely Castle, and I educate, encourage, and equip homeschoolers on their homeschool journey. I am a homeschool mom of 4 children and 12 grandchildren, and I run a homeschool hybrid, and I've helped hundreds of moms and dads and grandparents on their homeschooling journey. And today I want to help you. Perhaps you've just decided to homeschool for this school year, and there's so many methods and curriculums and choices to make, and you'd like to maybe pare it down a little bit or get some advice. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to give you 3 steps that will help you focus so you can create a plan that will work for you and for your family. Every year of homeschool, I prayed and sought the Lord for His direction for myself and for each of our homeschool kids during the year. I believe strongly in writing down the vision and making it plain, so those who run with it can read it and go. Sometimes the person that needs to read it is me. I need to be reminded partway through the year, why am I doing this? So it helps us to focus, and it helps us plan, and it helps us to have direction for the coming year. So the first thing that we're going to do is write down, what is our why? Why are we homeschooling? For me, it was a simple calling. It was a belief that this is what I was created for. This is what I must do for my children. I had no other reason than I just believed God that this is what I needed to do for me and for my family. My husband and I were in agreement that we wanted to be the ones to influence and impact our children with godly values for their education. I have learned over the last 25 years that there's myriads of reasons why people homeschool their kids. And you're going to write down now your why in 3 to 5 sentences. What is your why? Why do you want to homeschool your kids? Do you want to be the primary influence in their life? Is there certain things that are there certain things that you want them to learn, or certain ways that you want them to learn? Maybe they're being bullied in school and you want to create a more protected atmosphere for them, or maybe you want them to have time with their family or their siblings. So in 3 to 5 sentences, I want you to write down all of your whys for homeschooling. Okay, are you done with your whys? Now we're going to write down our values, our principles, and our top priorities for the coming year. It is best to do this with your spouse when possible so that you can be in agreement. Write down 3 to 5 things that summarize your purpose and your values. What do you want to accomplish? Some things that you might include are academic goals, mental health or physical health, family values or relationship priorities. You customize it to what is important for you to keep in mind as you make the decisions that you're going to make about structure, about your schedule, about curriculum choices. So it's very important that we write down now, what is it that we want to accomplish this year? What are our values? And what is our purpose? Okay, next we're going to write down our goals for each child. I have multiple children, and so it was really important for me to just examine each of their bent, their passions, and also, their strengths and weaknesses, so that I could decide, what is my goal this year? What are the things that we need to prioritize? I had 2 children that were reading by the time they were 3 and 4 years old, and I had one child that was in the 2nd grade, and we were still struggling with just the basics. And so one year it was our goal, okay, this year we're going to make sure that she's up to speed. And boy, within the first semester, with a clear focus and having made my decisions based around this is what's important this year, it wasn't even a semester, and she was just right up to speed where she needed to be. So that's why it's important that we look at our goals and we make our decisions based on what does this child need this year, so that we can feel like we've been very successful in our homeschool journey. So include academic goals, friendship goals, extracurricular activities. What are they interested in learning? Homeschoolers teach their child through their God-given bents. And so children love to learn what interests them, and learning can be centered around their passions. You can just relate everything to what they enjoy. And then they understand, why do I need to know this? Because they're learning it through their passions and through their God-given bent. And so go ahead and write down the goals for each one of your children. You may want to include them in that process. Ask them, what are your goals for yourself this year? What are the things that you want to accomplish this year, or that you want to do this year that would make you feel really proud of yourself and feel that you'd achieved something great? So include them in that, and of course your husband, and make sure that you include God in those goals. What are his goals? What are the things that you feel like God is telling you for each child that you really need to accomplish this year? So all right, go ahead and do that now. All right, you're doing wonderful. Thank you for taking the time to do this. You're gonna give yourself a little pat on the back right now. I'm doing a great job. I'm doing big things here. You're very important and you are very valuable. That's what this next point is about. You are important, you are valuable, your marriage and your relationships are important. And so I want you to write down some goals for your own self-care as well. What are some things that you want to make sure you include for yourself and that you prioritize? It's important that we do this and that we include self-care as part of our structure and part of our weekly planning. And so go ahead and write down some things. Maybe you want to talk to your spouse or pray about your spouse, pray about it with your spouse as well, about what are some important self-care things that you need and goals that you want to set for this year. Maybe it's just, some time out to go get a mani or pedi. Maybe it's a date. My husband and I always had date night once a week, no matter what, even if it was just to go for a walk and have, an hour to ourselves face to face, no cell phones, all that sort of thing. What are some self-care goals that you would like to set for this year? Let's include that in our planning because you are valuable, you are important, and to be the best homeschooling parent or grandparent or dad or whatever that you need to be, you need to take care of yourself first. So let's take a few minutes and write down what are our goals and our objectives for this year for ourselves. All right, guys, excellent. All right, your vision and your mission statement will keep you on track. You can look at it each week, each month, every year, and for years to come. You can look back at it and you can modify it to meet the needs of your family as you grow and as you learn. All right, so let's just review very quickly. Number one is why. Did you write down your why? Why did you choose to homeschool? Sometimes when we get a little foggy headed and things get a little chaotic, we have to say, why am I doing this? So you'll have a remembrance of why am I doing this? Next, what do I want to accomplish? We need to write that down so that we can make sure that we're reaching our goals. We can look back at the end of the year and feel accomplished and go, wow, I met these goals. Next, what values do you want to instill in your children? Do you want to do daily devotions and incorporate that into your learning? What are the values that you want to incorporate? Next, what are some things that are important to you? Field trips, devotionals, a love of learning, teaching life skills, having fun as a family, having some time out, some vacation time. Homeschooling really lends itself to some special trips and time away together at different times of the year than when everyone else is doing it. So there's some flexibility there. And then goals for each child. So important that you write this down, that you really reflect on what are my goals for this child, taking into consideration his or her abilities and maybe what their strengths and what their weaknesses are, taking all those things into account. So your goals for each child. And last but not least is self-care and care for your marriage or relationships, family relationships. So that's so important. Take care of yourself. Take care of your physical self, your emotional and spiritual self. And healthier you physically and mentally and emotionally and spiritually is for a healthier family. So I hope this has helped you. Next time I hop on, we'll be talking about setting up your classroom and setting up your your structure. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I've sure enjoyed sharing with you, and I hope to talk to you more. Thank you.